Dark Mirror, Chapter 6. Back when Takanuva was Takua, a Matoran of the village of Dokoro, he had once found himself walking through a stretch of jungle, being stalked by a monstrous Nuijaga scorpion. Whenever he moved, the scorpion moved. If he stopped, it stopped. If he turned to face it, it would kill him, but if he led it back to the village, it might harm others before it was driven off. He was finally saved by a sudden inspiration. He changed direction and led the Nuijaga straight toward a Moaka cat cave. Angered at the intrusion into its territory by the other Rahi beast, the Moaka attacked the Nuijaga, and Takua escaped. Which just goes to show, thought Takanuva, nowadays there's never a Moaka around when you need one. Here he was, trudging across the barren plains of Karzani in this weird alternate universe. Behind him were two Toa, Bomanga and Kualis, both of whom served the oppressive dictatorship of the Toa Empire. Between them was Jala, a Matoran who in Takanuva's world was the Toa of Light's best friend. In this universe he was a servant of the Empire, transporting the Mask of Time back to Metru Nui. That wasn't the worst of it, though. Takanuva needed to find Brutaka and the Mask of Dimensional Gates if he was ever going to make it back to his own universe. And Bomanga had just announced that Brutaka was dead, killed by him. All of which left Takanuva exactly nowhere. "Ah, Brutaka," said Bomanga. "He fought well. But when he turned to fight Gaki and Pooks, I hit him from behind, and that finished him." "Not very fair," muttered Takanuva. "Fair?" asked Bomanga. "He was an enemy of the Empire. He tried to prevent our lawful exploration of Oyanui. Who cares how he died as long as he's dead?" "Our friend Takanuva seems to be carrying a conscience," said Toa Kualis. "That is a heavy burden in a place like this. You would be amazed how many poor dead beings I see on the side of the path who just couldn't go one more step with that load on their backs." "Spare me the philosophy," snapped Takanuva. "What about Brutaka's weapons and his mask? What happened to them?" "You should know," said Bomanga. "If you really serve Toa Tuyet as you claim, any treasure like that gets brought to the Colosseum in Metru Nui for safekeeping." "Right, naturally," said Takanuva. This was going to be a problem. How was he going to get into what had to be the most heavily guarded spot in Metru Nui to get that mask? "You know, you remind me a little of someone," said Bomanga. "A Toa of Water, one of Likan's old team. What was her name? Toa Naho, that was it. She came along on one of our missions to Odina to clean out that nest of stone rats. Offered to go after the Shadowed One herself, take all the risks. Turned out she was helping that creep escape. He got away, she didn't. Tuyet turned her over to her friend Rudaka, and, well, she wound up an interesting exhibit in the archives." Takanuva knew he should keep quiet, but he couldn't. "Do you think this is what Tuyet really wanted? Toa betraying other Toa, Matoran living in fear of their heroes? Toa was supposed to be respected and look up to." "But we are," said Kualis. "Everyone respects what they fear, and they can't help but look up to us. We always look down on them." Takanuva heard a stirring behind him. He could guess what it was, Bomanga and or Kualis getting ready to blast him from behind. Well, there was no choice. He would have to try and take them both out and get the mask from Jala. It would take a lot of luck, probably more than he could hope for, but then he heard other sounds. A rush of wind, startled cries from the two Toa, which receded in the distance, then the sound of a cart crashing. He turned to see a strange Toa standing amidst the wreckage of Jala's Ussel cart. He was retrieving the Mask of Time, which lay next to the unconscious Jala. When he noticed Takanuva, he stopped. "You're not one of them," the Toa of Air said. "That's why you're still alive. Don't make me regret that decision." "Who are you?" asked Takanuva. "What do you want here?" "What do I want?" said the Toa. "I want some peace. But I'm never going to get any while that crazy Toa of Water is running things. So I keep an eye out for things she wants, like this mask here, and I take them from her. That's why if you ever see her list of enemies of the Empire, you'll find my name at the top, Toa Lesevek." To be continued.